Hi, everyone. It is Pride Month, and we are sharing from the archives this week on the Say Again podcast with me, Amrita Tripathi. I'm sharing this clip with the dynamic leader, Keshav Suri. He leads the Lalit Suri Hospitality Group. And in this clip, I actually asked him, and remember, this was recorded sometime last year when things were not so clear. I asked him what he makes about this backlash against DE&I initiatives and why he thinks it's important for people to go beyond lip service. Listen in and let us know what you think. When we talk about inclusion and diversity, unfortunately or fortunately, I think for a lot of people, it can end up feeling like a some sort of lip service or a box that has to be ticked. So there'll be Women's Day for women's empowerment. There'll be, mental health days coming up. So there'll be, talk about the neurodiverse workforce. What do you think is missing from the discourse? And how do you feel that, corporate leaders like yourself, what do you think needs to be done to change this from just a on paper conversation for a lot of people? And keeping in mind that, there seems to be a bit of a backlash against DEI. I keep hearing in the US and other places, which may also come here. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think that DEI for us, and I think how it should be, it has to be a part of the DNA of the company, and it has to be a part of the DNA of the person that really firmly believes in diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think equity is probably the one that gets the least amount of recognition and attention. And I think that equity should be at first. In fact, I've noticed that even in UK, they're now putting EDI. They're calling it EDI, equity, diversity, and inclusion. And maybe because they've just changed it because DEI is getting such a bad name in the United States. But I think what is missing in the discourse, maybe, is this, that we need to make sure that we have people that are wanting, or the communities that you want to represent, in positions of decision making and in positions of power. How long are we going to keep the marginalized? And are we doing diversity and inclusion and just doing them at entry level positions? Or are you actually sitting and having trans people as general managers on your board of directors, and not just the tick mark activities of, having X number of team members? No, saying that you have X number of team members is great. How many of those X number of team members are in mid management, are in senior management, and are on your board? How many of them are empowered enough to take decisions for the communities that you want to represent? How many of them are bringing into communication and conversations religious diversity, casteism, and are ready to have uncomfortable conversations to make them so normalized that they are comfortable? And how many are taking that step forward instead of turning around and saying that, oh, you know what? We want to hire so many people. We want to hire so many women. We want to hire so many trans people and queer people. But HR comes back and says, oh, but where are these people? They're not qualified. They're not, they don't have qualifications. Why? Because they're marginalized. So they don't have the access to that level of education to be able to sit in front of you to have that interview. How many companies then are doing something about structural reforms of going and giving the communities the tools that they need so that they can have that level playing field before they even come to the interview? So by that, meaning how many companies are supporting fellowships, scholarships, how many are actually going and going into universities, picking out a whole bunch of students or giving scholarships to a bunch of students and saying that this is a scholarship for quick. We've done that at the hospitality school at a very small level. But we have a Adityananda scholarship, which is a scholarship for LGBTQIA plus students who want to have a career in food production, in food service, and as well become patisserie and bakery chefs. We're the only university or hospitality school to have done that for LGBTQIA plus students. And I'm very happy at a very small stage, we've had a substantial number of students that have gone through that. We've done another scholarship called Apna Hira, which focuses only on neurodivergent students. So here is an opportunity where we're taking neurodivergent kids, LGBTQ kids who finished school and basically gone and said that, okay, now you'll do college, you'll have that specific degree. So by the time they come to the HR for at least hotels and for at least F&B or restaurants or anybody that wants to have a hospitality and tourism degree, but I also think that hospitality and tourism also is, crisis management, risk management, all of that, different levels of management and personality management. So this person is becoming a full all-rounded individual to be able to get that job. So at least we have taken that stand that we are going to go and actually provide those opportunities so that HR doesn't have to ever say that we don't, have enough qualified people.